Voting will take place on Thursday the 1st of July, when polling stations will be open between 7 in the morning and 10 o'clock at night. And you can find information on how to do that, along with details of how to register for a proxy vote. It's all on our website at the usual address, itv.com/calendar, where you'll also find the full list of candidates.
Now, the quality of the air we breathe has been the focus of much attention as campaigns continue to improve it. And this week marks International Clean Air Day.
Yes, we're all susceptible to air pollution in various different forms, especially children, who are particularly vulnerable. Well, our very own John Mitchell has been taking a look at what causes it, how it affects us, and what we can do to help reduce it.
Fresh air. Over the last 15 months, getting out into the open has become increasingly important to many of us.
It's been good to get back down in the fresh air and just enjoy working outdoors again.
It's just so great to get out, especially when the weather's like this. It's absolutely great.
It's been so important just to get outside, get some fresh air and not have to stare at those same four walls all day long.
A unanimous thumbs up for being outside, but how fresh is the air we are breathing? Some causes of air pollution are more obvious than others. There's car exhausts, road transport, air transport, industrial processes, and the way we heat our homes. And all of these things introduce gases and particles into the atmosphere, which can be really harmful to all of us.
So air pollution is one of the largest causes of preventable death, both in the UK and globally.
Alistair Lewis knows his air quality. A professor of atmospheric chemistry at the University of York, he says we all need to be aware of the air around us.
The highest concentrations of pollution in the UK are in city centres and by roadsides, but we also have pretty high concentrations in the suburbs and in the rural environment as well. So although we think of it mainly as a city problem, in fact it affects everybody in the UK.
But why should that be a concern? Well, according to Public Health England, man-made air pollution is the biggest environmental threat to health in the UK, with between 28,000 and 36,000 deaths a year attributed to long-term exposure. And the impact can begin before birth.
We see more children born with low birth weight, so something's happening in the womb. You get more new cases of asthma, and if you get asthma, it's going to be worse in areas of high pollution and on high pollution days. The evidence seems to be reasonably compelling.
Compelling and very concerning. So what can we do? There are simple solutions that can have an immediate effect. Walking or cycling instead of driving, moving away from gas boilers and log burners, and installing energy-efficient lighting in our homes and offices. We can also stay aware, keeping an eye on air pollution warnings, so we can make the best choices, ourselves healthy.
Well, John's here now, and air pollution can be a problem, can't it?
Well, it can indeed, Sally, yes. Now, there are things that we can do to help reduce it, but it's also essential to be aware of when and where air pollution is going to be a problem, and this is something that we're going to be bringing you in the future. Now, this is an example of the sort of chart we will be showing, and essentially the higher the number, the poorer the air quality, and it's all about really reducing your physical activity outdoors, and if it's really, really bad, staying indoors. Now, it's normally going to be a winter problem when we get high pressure, we get stagnant air and pollutants trapped underneath that area of high pressure. And it's important to realise that not all airborne particles are man-made. Saharan dust and pollen, for example, are naturally occurring, and I've put more information on this on our website, itv.com/calendar, and follow the link to weather. Now, back to today. Here we have the red arrows flying over that famous Yorkshire landmark Ribblehead Viaduct. Now, they were transiting earlier today from their base at RAF Scampton to Prestwick in Scotland, ahead of air displays tomorrow in Northern Ireland. And a matter of minutes later, here they are arriving in the sunshine of Western Scotland over Prestwick Airport. Look at the shadow there from their trail on the ground. Isn't that an absolutely amazing
Well, it was nicer there today, wasn't it?
Well, it was. Yeah, that's right. Cloudy skies for us. Nice weather for Scotland.
All right, John, thank you very much. We'll have your full forecast forecast at the end of the programme.
Indeed.
Perhaps the weather is an omen. It is the big one tonight. England are preparing to take on Scotland in Group D of the Euro 2020 Championship, and it's fair to say the tension is rising right across the region.
Yes, coverage starts right here on ITV at 7 o'clock, and football fans are beginning to take their seats already, whether it be at home or at a pub.
Well, we'll be heading to one rather damp beer garden shortly, where Rachel Townsend is with some fans who are braving the wet weather.
First, though, to Chris Dorks, who's been hearing from some of our homegrown stars. And Chris, you've been following in the footsteps of the man of the moment.
Yes, Sally, I'm in the Wortley area of Leeds, where you can see Wortley Juniors are training behind me right now in the pouring rain, it must be said. And it's right here where Calvin Phillips took his first tentative steps in the world of football, steps that led all the way towards England recognition. And we'll be hearing from those who nurtured Calvin during his formative years in football. But first, let's hear from the man himself on his incredible journey.
Phillips across. How many times have we said that? On Sunday afternoon, Calvin Phillips showed the world what Leeds fans had known for years.
Calvin Phillips, sir.
Where's this?
Lo chiamano lo Yorkshire Pirlo.
It's nice to recognise that, especially from other countries.
His man of the match performance in England's win over Croatia, including an assist for the only goal of the game, earned the 25-year-old rave reviews from fans and pundits alike.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think over the last 2 years, I've never enjoyed football as much in my life. Obviously, you enjoy it as a kid, and then, throughout the years, you obviously wanting to get contracts at clubs, and you don't know if you're going to get one, then you do, and then, there were a part of my career where I thought I'd maybe best off going out on loan, and then, luckily I stayed at Leeds, and the manager came in and helped me get to this point now.
Back in 2018, Phillips watched England reach the World Cup semi-finals at home with friends. At the time, he was an average player in an average Leeds United team. Everything changed that summer with the arrival of Marcelo Bielsa.
Marcelo's an unbelievable person. He looks at the game in 1,000 different ways, and he's very different to a lot of different managers, and I think the detail that goes into it to improve you as a player and improve the team as a whole is beyond anybody I've ever known.
Phillips the player might have been Bielsa's creation, but Phillips the person was his family's doing. Excellent work from Calvin Phillips!
There's no one there above her. She's just very proud. Obviously I'm smiling now because I'm just thinking about her reaction that she had on Sunday, and it was her birthday the day before that game, so I just wanted to make her proud by going out there and doing what I do best.
Another strong influence was his granny Val. We spoke to her last September when Calvin was first called up for England.
I says, I've got something to say. So I says, what? So he says, I forget, you get married? So he said, no. So I said, you're having a baby? So he says, not yet. Then he said, Gareth Southgate. I said, oh my God, couldn't believe it. So proud of him. Oh God.
And obviously it's a nice moment. It's an interview that I always look back on.
In February, Granny Val passed away.
It was a tough time for me and my family, and I'll always remember her as being not an annoying one, but she always used to ring me up every single day and just make sure how I am. She's very caring, she's very nosy, but she was a lovely woman.
And she'd be the proudest woman in the country to see her grandson flourish on European football's biggest stage. He's already a local hero. Now Calvin Phillips is fast becoming a national icon.
Are you ready for what is an international match like no other? England-Scotland.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk to some of those down here at Wortley this evening. We've got Paul and Ian, Calvin's former coaches as well. Paul, you must be ever so proud of Calvin.
I'm really proud of him on Sunday's game. It was man a match for us, you know what I mean? His role what he played on Sunday, He's different from Leeds. They've got more forward a bit, so he didn't really down to the ground. So I'm really happy to be watching it.
Ian, what an inspiration for the players down here.
Oh, it is, yeah. I mean, you can see the guys training behind us, and every one of them's got still a chance. Calvin didn't leave us till he was 15, and all these guys are under 15 now, so why isn't there a possibility that they can move on, just like he's moved on?
Lewis, you heard it first there. You could be an England player in the future if you're following Calvin's footsteps. You must be proud of him as well.
Yeah, I think he's a great player and he played really well on Sunday.
Fantastic. And Caden, you actually know Calvin, don't you, as well?
Yeah, I used to play in the street with him when he was about 17, 18, and I play in a similar position to him, so I just try to play like him and just pick up the tricks and flicks like he does.
Reece, huge inspiration, Calvin.
Of course, obviously growing up in the area where he was born and made us a great footballer, there's such an inspiration to us and the lads. Seeing him play now in England just gives us all a bit of a boost to keep going, to be honest.
And how do you think England are going to do tonight?
2-0 win.
2-0 win, Calvin to score?
Yeah, hopefully.
Get both of them, maybe?
Yeah.
Let's hope so anyway. Guys, we'll let you get back to training. Thank you for talking to us this evening. Well, tonight at Wendy Anvil will actually come up against a familiar opponent. Leeds captain Liam Cooper plays for Scotland as well. Now, Liam qualified for Scotland through his grandfather, but was born and grew up in Hull. He went to Mallet Lambert School, where his teachers say his talent shone through.
Liam was a good sportsman all the way through school, starting in year 7. It was when he got to year 10, both rugby and football, Liam excelled at. He was part of the National Cup winning team for the rugby league team.
And where's your loyalties tonight? With your former pupil or with your country?
With England, family. 3-1 England, I'm going. So have a good game, Liam, but not too good.
Well, of course, people will be gathered all over the region watching tonight's game. And Rachel Townsend is in a pub across the city for us this evening. Rachel, are people already getting into the spirit?
Absolutely, Chris. People here at the Myrtle Tavern are embracing every second of the build-up. We may have a few empty tables here at the beer garden at the moment. That is purely because of the weather. Many are sheltering inside. A few hardy souls have made it out. Let's chat to the manager here at the Myrtle Tavern, Henry Hughes. Henry, it's not quite full. It will be full at kick-off. How satisfying, after the year you've had, will it be to see this beer garden full of atmosphere?
Incredibly satisfying. You know, we don't have many people here yet, but it's going to be a great atmosphere, just like it was last week, because you're going to have people coming out drinking, even though they're sitting in the rain. Everyone's going to have a good time, and they're going to be out with their mates finally again.
You've worked so hard to make it COVID safe. How determined were you to make this a real sort of pull for punters to come?
Oh yeah, we've worked really hard. The whole team, everyone. I mean, we've had to have extra staff on. We've had to have people prepare extra, all these drinks for everyone on tables, crisps, everything, just to have that extra bit of atmosphere. That's the sort of thing, though, we're happy to do it.
And it's worth it, isn't it? Because the atmosphere is already, you've got a sort of shelter there with over 100 people plus.
It's a shame we've got the weather like this today, but they'll still have fun. We're going to have fun. It's just the atmosphere we want today.
Come kick-off, I don't think many people will care about. They were feeling ahead of kick-off.
Wow, just a good cheeky little trick. We'll get it done, won't we?
We should definitely pick up another win. I'm sure Calvin Phillips will bring it